Hello everyone. The negative side. There were several areas in which the Rajiv Gandhi government failed to act in a statesmanlike manner or made grave tactical mistakes. The Shah Bano case. In 1985, the Supreme Court gave a decision in a case involving a Muslim divorcee, Shah Bano, upholding the decision of a lower court. The lower court verdict was that Shahbano's erstwhile husband should pay her maintenance for every month, while Muhammad Ahmad Khan, the husband, contended that he had paid 3 months' allowance as required according to him by Islamic law. Invoking Section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code (CRPC), the apex court said that Shahbano, not having remarried and not in a position to maintain herself, was entitled to get an allowance from the ex-husband. The court was clear that Section 125 of the CRPC would prevail over personal law in case there is a conflict between the two. The Supreme Court even went on to say that a uniform civil code, as mentioned in the directive principles of state policy in the Constitution, would help national integration. Conservative Muslims resented the court decision as interfering with their personal law. Sometime later, an MP moved a private member's bill in Parliament to the effect that Muslims be exempted from the purview of Section 125 of the CRPC. This was opposed by Arif Mohammed Khan, the Minister of State in the Home Ministry. The bill was defeated in the House, but dissatisfaction among a section of Muslims was deep. With thousands of Muslims demonstrating against the Supreme Court decision, the Rajiv Gandhi government bowed to the pressure. The Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Divorce Bill was introduced in the House in 1986 to overturn the Supreme Court judgment, and a whip issued to the Congress MPs to vote in its favor. The bill was passed, thereby denying divorced Muslim women the right to claim maintenance under the CRPC and confining the maintenance to the iddat, or a 3-month period. The bill placed the onus of supporting the divorced wife on her relatives or the Waqf board. Arif Mohammed Khan resigned in protest. The Babri Mosque gates opening. In British times, the Babri Mosque in Ayodhya was used by Muslims for worship. There was a platform outside the mosque where Hindus worshipped Ram. It was believed that the place was the birthplace of Ram. In 1949, an idol of Ram Lalla baby is said to have been placed inside the mosque on night. Hindu devotees saw this appearance of the idol as a miracle and now wanted the place for worship. In the wake of disturbances, it was decided by the local authorities to lock the disputed premises in Ayodhya so that neither Hindus nor Hindus could use the act of worship to press their claims. Appeals were made before Faizabad court that the Ram Janmabhoomi gates be unlocked on the grounds that it was the Faizabad district administration and not a court that had ordered its closure. In 1980s, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad (VHP) and other such Hindu groups launched a campaign to construct a Ram Mandir at the site. On February 1, 1986, the Faizabad district judge ordered that the doors to the mosque be opened so that the devotees could pray. According to reports at the time, the Congress government under Rajiv Gandhi ensured that the locks of the mosque were opened almost immediately after the Faizabad judge's ruling. Television cameras were present to cover the opening, suggesting that the judge's decision was known by the administration beforehand. There was a strong belief that the Rajiv Gandhi government's decision in the Ayodhya matter was made to balance the Muslim Women's Act by placating the hardcore Hindus. If the Congress thought it could undercut the BJP's temple campaign, it was mistaken. The initiative was grabbed by the Sangh Parivar. The VHP was emboldened and its attitude hardened. Now the demand for the demolition of the mosque to build a temple at the site became vociferous. The image of Rajiv Gandhi as a modern forward-looking leader was tarnished after these two issues. As political analysts warned at the time, the policy of appeasement of communities for electoral gains could become a vicious cycle and cause much damage to the social fabric. The Bofors scandal. There was more trouble for the Prime Minister. In March 1986, India signed an agreement with the Swedish arms manufacturer AP Bofors, once owned by Alfred Nobel, for the supply of 400 155 mm howitzer guns for the Indian Army. The deal included an option to license produce 1,000 more guns. The deal amounted to $285 million, about 1,500 crore rupees, which was huge for the time. Almost a year later, in April 1987, a Swedish radio report claimed that the Bofors deal involved payment of bribes to top Indian politicians and defense personnel as well as Swedish officials. The Hindu correspondent in Geneva, Chitra Subramaniam, investigated the matter on behalf of her paper and collected several documents on the basis of which she revealed that over rupees 64 crore was indeed paid to some very powerful people. One name that appeared amidst all was that of Ottavio Quattrochi, an Italian businessman who represented the Italian petrochemicals firm Snamproghetti and was alleged to have become a powerful broker between the Indian government and the international businesses, mainly because of his reported closeness to the Gandhi family. The Indian Express and the Statesman also carried long reports on what came to be known as the Bofors scandal. In the meanwhile, VP Singh, who had been shifted from finance to defense, also seemed to have uncovered details of corruption in the Bofors deal. The VP Singh was finally left out of the cabinet. This seems to have increased the suspicion against the Rajiv Gandhi government and even against the Prime Minister himself. There was skepticism about Rajiv Gandhi's declaration in Parliament that no bribe was paid and no middleman was involved. Rajiv Gandhi, who had been nicknamed Mr. Clean, suffered an irreparable damage to his image. In July 1988, Rajiv Gandhi introduced what has been termed as one of the most draconian bills drafted by the Indian government. The bill was aimed at checking the freedom of the press. It provided that an editor or proprietor of a newspaper journal could be imprisoned for criminal imputation and scurrilous writings, terms which would be defined by the state. Apparently, he was pushed into introducing the measure because of the investigative journalism into the Bofors scandal. The bill was in the end dropped, but further damage had been done to the image of the government. Like, share and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you. Bye.